Hi everyone and welcome back to a video with Aim and Lee. Bit of a different one, I'm afraid, everybody.
How are we doing, everybody?
First of all, how are you all? What have you all been up to? It's a rainy day here. Again. Where's the summer? Anyway, thought I'd give you a bit of an explanation as to where we've been and to our last video.
Yeah, the last time I was on here, Ian wasn't, but I said we might not come back. And then if you've watched the video, you know why. So Ian's going to talk for a bit now.
So after Christmas, my auntie, as Lee told you all, and I told you guys, was diagnosed with dementia.
Let me mute that.
So at Christmas time, just after Christmas, my auntie, my mum's sister, was diagnosed with dementia. She was gradually getting worse. And then in April, we moved here to Morecambe, as you all know. My mum, dad, Tia, everybody. Couldn't have got a better this is my mum's room, by the way. We couldn't have got a better place, could we? Everything ticked the box. To my mum's mobility, everything. And anyway, we moved here in the April. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry about that, guys. Tia rang. She's actually on a fishing trip at the moment with my dad. Anyway, so we moved here. They all come here April the 11th. May the 10th was Lee's birthday. And we had a little birthday get-together with his mum and Bob, you know, his stepdad. And my mum, everybody was perfectly fine. We really happy.
Your auntie was unwell.
Well, this is what I'm coming to. So my auntie was in hospital at that point. And it was coming to the point where we kind of knew she was coming late stage dementia, end of life. So 7 weeks before anything really kicked off, my mum was perfectly fine. There was no sort of major drastic changes about my mum that I would have even thought that there'd been something.
Just a lot of stress. I mean, your mum, Aim's mum took on everything with, cause it was a sister. So there's Aim's mum, and from the beginning, because you know obviously better than me, but she had 2 brothers and a sister.
Yeah.
When did she lose her first brother?
So her brother Alan died at 26. And she's got a brother called Billy who's still with us now. And then there's my auntie, Joan, who had a son. And that's my cousin. So there was me and him. And then there was her husband, my uncle. He passed away 18 years ago. And so it was just my auntie, her son, and my uncle Billy who was left.
And your mum basically, Billy, you know, he relied on Brenda a lot, Aim's mum, for sort out like appointments, even though we weren't even living in Wolverhampton anymore, sort out taxis for appointments, etc. Especially with Joan being unwell. So Brenda then had to take on everything for Billy. And then like, the go between the hospital and Billy, the hospital and Simon, Joan's son, and the fact that Joan couldn't speak. Even when she was at home, she wasn't really talking on the phone.
No, well. she was sort of losing her ability to hold conversations and stuff like that. So it was becoming increasingly worse. So then she was just in hospital the whole time.
Well, they found her, didn't they? Collapsed
on the floor, and she was in hospital for, well, I want to say a good 8 weeks. And then all of a sudden, the stress was getting to my mum. Turns out, like, in between all that, Mum had her own thing going on, which none of us even knew about. Mum was losing a lot of weight. We didn't really notice it at all, because living with somebody, you don't technically notice decline in the slightest. We just thought it was from all the stress of my auntie, because she was really, really stressed out.
Yeah, her appetite wasn't as good as it had been. Brenda's wasn't, or Brent's. We put it down to all the stress, but there was a lot of stress. Like, it was on the phone constantly, all day, every day, between between Billy and Simon in the hospital, and
yeah,
you know, a lot going on.
It was just a lot where it took its toll on my mum.
And she's been unwell in the past, hasn't she?
Yeah, so 5 years ago, you all know my mum moved in with me because she was extremely ill. She nearly died, and it was just horrific then. They thought that she had multiple myeloma, which is like a blood cancer. She didn't, and then I got her back to health. You all knew her as Trendy Brendy. You've seen her on the vlogs in the Tia's birthday when we was out on the cruise. My mum changed her entire life around. My mum hadn't been out the house before that for several years due to illness and fears and phobias, and she changed her life around 360, and she made the best of every opportunity that she could. She literally, she had a whole new life.
She went from not going out, like when I met her 17 years ago, she went out like twice after I met her, and then didn't go out for like 11, 12 years. And then after that, once she'd come, I mean, if you'd seen her, you'd have thought she, that was it, back when she was really unwell. And it took her a while to get better. But before she came out of the hospital, she said, look, if I go back to my old house, I'm never going to come out again.
Yeah,
unless it's like back to the hospital.
We all did try our best, but my mum was very like, I don't want to talk about the situation. I don't want to even address why I won't go out. She had so many, she was a bit agoraphobic and that. But she changed her life around. If you go and check out our vlog channel with the cruise, you'll see my mum. She went to formal night, everything. My mum changed her life around, and I'm so deeply proud of her for that. It was amazing to see the difference in what my mum did in the 5 years that we lived in Wolverhampton. I couldn't believe it, really.
We got her on a cruise. We took her to the cottage with the huge indoor pool in
swimming,
Wales.
hot tubs.
I mean, she'd never been in a swimming pool in her adult life, and yet we had her in a swimming pool.
Yeah, she was. Lee's just had to go at me for touching my hair. I'm sorry, I don't care if I offend anyone for touching my hair. It's my hair. I'm going to touch it. Anyway, the point is, she changed her life around to... I can't even explain, you guys. If you'd have seen her, you would just... She was unrecognisable before she moved out of her old house into ours. And then in those 5 years, we did so much fun things for her, didn't we? Some things could have been as simple as just popping out for a meal together. But we made the best of the time.
Well, we ended up moving here. It's my old hometown. When I met Aim, I was living in this area. And we never thought we'd... Bren, for the last few years, had wanted to move here. Like, because she'd hear all the stories, see our videos, pictures, and living in a concrete jungle, with like a city life, where all you can be by the sea. I guess when you're older, for all she knew, she had a year, or she could have 15 years, but she didn't want to spend it going to the same 2 or 3 places, which all you can do when you don't have transport and you live in a bloody city centre. You just go shopping, go to a pub, go shopping, go to a pub. And you just got monotonous for everyone.
There wasn't very much scenery there. Don't get me wrong, if you had the means to get to places, there's some beautiful things around. However, it wasn't our opportunity. So anyway, we managed to move in here. It was Lee's birthday, the 10th of May. We kind of had a bad 7 weeks after that of my auntie being extremely unwell. And then a few, I want to say, within the 2 weeks of that. So it was right, let me just work this out. It was it was the 18th of June to be exact. The night before the 18th of June, I heard my mum being sick. There's been a few other things before that which I won't go into, but there was just a few signs and signals that something wasn't quite right. And then on the night I said, Mum, I've heard you being sick, what's the matter? And she just come out and said to me, I've been being sick, I can't keep anything down. My dad thought she was going slightly yellow, so did Lee. I didn't see it again because I spent a lot of time with my mum.
So, with Bren, even though she'd gotten out, well, she hadn't gotten out, but even though she'd gone to the hospital and was in there for a few weeks, 5 years back, she told us when she come out that she was going to basically put it all in Aim's hands in terms of like getting checkups done, etc., and hadn't had a single thing done because she just basically just blocked it all out again. Just in general, just normal stuff like everyone when they get old needs doing. Like Steve, he'll go to the hospital and doctors for all his blood tests.
That's my dad.
All his medications. He's up to date with everything because he's very on the ball with it. Whereas Bren was very much in denial, like I ain't seeing a doctor.
She was very much like, I don't particularly want to have that in case they make me do things I don't want to do. I think my mum thought they was going to sort of, cart her off and put her in a home or something. I don't really understand her thought pattern, but she was just so anti, like, I'm scared. I'm the same. You guys know I've got health anxiety, but that's another story. Anyway, so I knew that day, Tia had to help Mum out of bed, and my dad was like, "This is not right. There's something not right." So we found up the doctors, didn't we? And they gave her. I said, "Look, it was very, very, very mirror imaging the last time she was ill." So I thought, right, it's clearly her stomach again, because my mum had an ulcer before, and she had a lot of scar tissue. I thought, okay, then she was on omeprazole. I'm ringing up the doctor. Emergency doctor rang back. I said, "This is the situation. It's all similar to everything that happened before." The doctor agreed as well, didn't she?
Yeah, we got. She wasn't registered. We all the hassle of moving, we hadn't got her registered at doctors. So we got registered that morning, didn't we?
And to be fair to that doctor, they was on the ball and helped her straight away. So they put her on an anti-sickness pill and omeprazole, which again is like a really good tablet for like helping like stomach lining and everything. Repaired her last time. Come the evening, I want to say it was about, well, I know exactly when it was. It was 8:33 in the evening. I WhatsApped her. I know she was only in the next room, but I WhatsApped her. We talked on the phone. That's what we did. And I said, "Are you all right?" She wasn't answering. And then I rang her phone. She was ringing. I thought, oh my God, what's happened? That morning when my mum had a lie-in, she never has a lie-in, but with me and my dad thought there was something wrong. I was like, "Dad, will you go in and check?" And she was like, "I'm fine, blah, blah, blah." Anyway, I rang her phone just after 9:25, and I walked in, and she was trying to answer the phone with her purse. She picked up her purse and started answering the phone. At that point, I knew my mum had gone into some sort of delirium. And I had to say, "Dad, Mum's answering her purse instead of the phone. I'm ringing an ambulance." Anyway, that's the point. I would never have a normal conversation with my mum again. But that day, and it was a Wednesday.
So we got the ambulance round, didn't we, straight away?
Paramedics came,
yeah. They seen straight away that she had...
she was anemic. And jaundice, but it's like, "Oh, you're anemic." Straight away they knew. And so she was rushed up with an amber 2 warning for sepsis. She was in resus for 2 days. They said she had atrial fibrillation, which was like really, really bad. The heart wasn't pumping correctly. It was all over the place, and it was dangerous. They said she had hypothyroidism, she had anemia, was really deficient in B12. But before she could start taking the B12, she had to have something to start clotting the blood. But to do that, she had to get a heart... sorry, that was a reed diffuser thing. She had to get her heart under control. So there was quite a big delay on getting the B12 into her system.
But in that time, she kept dropping into the
platelets, everything was just all over the place. She then was moved to acute medical, where they did more tests and investigations. Then they come back and said she had an inflamed gallbladder and gallstones, and she had infections. I never got to the bottom of that bit, but they said it was respiratory, but they said she had sepsis.
As helpful as the hospital was, and the hospital really was helpful, one. But if you ever had anyone in hospital yourself, a loved one, or even yourselves, it's just like a different doctor would come around every day or every few hours and say, "Oh, I'm the specialist on the ward." Yeah, we didn't get to the bottom of anything like that. It was passed from pillar to post. They'd read the notes. Oh, it must be this. Oh, it must be that.
We had one professor came over to us in the acute medical, and he was like, "There's nothing to worry about. Everything's going to be fine. We know what's the matter. It's perfectly treatable. In 2 or 3 days, she'll be fine." Oh, that's fantastic news. At this point, Mum started to get some weird colouring on her feet and legs. Again, classic symptoms now of like mottled skin. However, they was like, "Oh, it's probably the medication." She had she was having blood transfusions daily. She was having antibiotics. She was having platelets. She was having B12. She was on calcium. It was everything.
What day did she go in again?
She went on a Wednesday.
Went in on the Wednesday, and by the Sunday.
So she went into resus, acute medical, and then there was another ward she went on to. And then we had like this. We went into a family room with these professors, and there was like, "We need to rule out leukemia, so we need to do like a bone marrow test to see what that's saying." Now, bear in mind, you guys probably know what the weekend's like at a hospital. You don't get doctors, you don't get anything in really on a weekend. We did. We had a big doctor come and say, I'm not waiting, she's got to have this test today. Come Sunday morning, they did the test, didn't they?
Yeah, we didn't think we'd get the results till the Monday because it was a weekend.
Yeah.
So we're planning on going up on the Sunday, like getting dressed at 9:30 in
Yeah.
the morning.
He come in and said, right, I'm going to tell you now, I'm going to have the results within 2 hours, didn't he?
He rang us up.
Yeah. So we was getting ready to go to our local hospital for about 12, 1 o'clock. Okay, we'll get there, we'll get sorted. Get a phone call. I couldn't believe this phone call.
Yeah.
Right, she's sort of tested positive, suspectedly for leukemia. Under the microscope, we can basically see some cells for leukemia.
But he didn't just say that though. He said, we're going to transfer it right now to Blackpool.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, so us on the train.
It's about an hour driving in a car, but obviously, thank God Lee's stepdad,
Yeah, Bob took us.
He took us.
But the doctor said to Aim on the phone, which I don't think was very fair, he said it's the kind of leukemia, he said she ain't going to recover from.
It's untreatable and it's extremely rare. Okay, get that into my head. I'm like a zombie at this point.
So the whole of the way there, we've booked an apartment in Blackpool for like 4 days, I think it was 4 or 5 days. Me and Aim were shooting off with some stuff thrown in a bag.
My dad was a total mess because I couldn't take him because we had the dogs here. Tia could look after herself, she's 21, but obviously I needed her to be okay. So we get there, we got there about 5 o'clock, Blackpool Victoria Hospital, and I can't, from the very beginning, I cannot fault these people there. Walking, she's on the cancer ward, but it's not just a cancer ward, you know, it's oncology plus haematology. She's in her own room at this point, and I'm thinking, okay, it's one of them rooms that's got a beautiful scenic picture in front of you, you know, the type of room you think, okay then, it's comfortable, windows are open.
Her own room, whereas
beautiful.
Before she'd been sharing with like 6 or 7 other
beautiful
patients.
Room. And my mum has never come back out of the delirium since. She was the funniest I've seen her in one of her entire life, but some of the things she was saying, she even then gave us a giggle, like she kept telling me off.
Yeah.
I'll tell you about that, but to give you a short story so far, so she was in bed. She didn't really have a faculty with her at all, and the doctor, I can't pronounce his name. It was something like Dr. Kadiki.
He was a big doctor.
Yeah, there was Dr. Mohammed and Dr. Kadiki, I think his name was, and he sat there and he was like, okay, she's got suspected leukemia, but I can treat that. That's going to be perfectly fine. That isn't an issue.
Yeah, we went from being told all the way there in from the phone call at like 11 in the morning, or around about 11, to about 4 in the afternoon. We think that's it. She's written off. She's got this leukemia that they can't cure because it's extremely rare, and that's because the one doctor told us. As soon as we've got on this new doctor who's like the specialist, and just randomly...
He was really, really lovely, he was. I am not kidding you.
Randomly he was in on a Sunday, weren't he?
He was in on a Sunday. He was like, don't worry, I'm going to be her doctor. I'm going to treat her. I'll be on the ward all week. You've got nothing to worry about. He says, we're going to run some more tests tomorrow, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. And he says, but the problem is she's got a lot of other things going on. I need to be able to treat that before I can treat the leukemia. However, he went, I'm starting her treatment for leukemia right now.
It's 80% curable.
Yeah, he said, I've got no qualms, I can treat that. And I was like, I started crying, I was like, thank you. He went, but wait. He says, there is a part 2. He says, she has got so much stuff going on. If I can't treat that, I'm going to stop the treatment for the leukemia because it won't be fair. And he also didn't even say to me, do you want to put a DNR in place? He said, I've got to make a medical decision here. I'm not going to resuscitate if her heart stops.
Yeah, he said in her condition as she was when she was
she's too frail. She's too weak. He went, I'm not going to do that. And I totally agreed. I wasn't going to put my mum through that. Anyway,
I mean, at this point, I went to like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
This was Sunday when we got to the hospital.
5 days where she just made no sense at all.
No. On the Sunday, so I was there, and then he turned around and he was like, come find me tomorrow at 4 o'clock. I'm going to do a louder test and we'll have a discussion tomorrow about how we're going to go forward with treatment and everything like that. He says I'm going to do everything I can. Anyway, by this time I was extremely exhausted. Even though we could have stayed there all night, all hours, I just went back. Mum was out of it kind of anyway, and she wanted to just...
Making sense in some ways. She said, I just want to go to sleep
now. I want to go to sleep now. I want to go. But then in the same breath, and this is just to give you a little bit of what my mum's personality was like, she came out with some really funny things, and she did give me a little giggle. She was like, I'm just letting you know, Persil washing powder is going out of production, so you best get all your Persil in right now.
Which so this was telling us. She was telling the doctors.
She was telling the doctors. She told the doctor she was proud of him. This ain't my mum at all. And she went, I've converted Lee to a Persil lover. And it's just things that my mum wouldn't say. So obviously, you know, she was having a little cue to herself. She's even dancing on one part of this. Anyway, that was that day. And to be honest with you, now I know what that was, which I didn't really know before, but I did. Anyway, the next morning I was like, okay, we haven't got a really bit there. We'll go up there about 12:01. Had a phone call at exactly 5 to 9. You need to come up. Things aren't looking good for your mum. I don't want you to, like, miss it, so I need you to know you need to come up straight away.
That was first thing in the morning. We actually got there for about 10 o'clock.
Yeah. At this point, Jill and Bob, Lee's mum and stepdad, was coming up anyway the day after, but I had to say, can you come pick up my dad and Tia and get to the hospital? My mum's not very well at all. So they come up the hospital, didn't they? And but before that, we had a meeting with the doctor, Mr. Kadiki, and that, and he took us into the room and he went, look, your mum is so unwell. She's actively dying. She's just, I mean, when we walked into her room from the day before, my mum, visually, was not my mum.
Yeah, you wouldn't recognise, well, we did recognise, but it wasn't the same person we'd
I'll tell you now,
a day earlier.
The vision of my mum, I will never get that out of my head. Ever. And he says, I wanted to be able to treat you. He says, I've been sitting here racking my brains thinking, what can I do? He says, but it just would not be fair on her. She was declining and declining and declining. He went, she's actively dying. I had to tell my dad that over the phone. My dad couldn't quite take it in. When he did get there, I had to tell them, you need to prepare yourself for the way my mum looks. She looked like she was already dying, to tell you the truth. She was deteriorating so bad. So my dad arrived and he just lost it, didn't he? He was like crying over my mum. I'm sorry, Brent, telling her he'll be with her soon. And Tia was in a mess. And
so this was the Monday. We'd been at the hospital Wednesday evening till like 4 in the morning, from 8 till 4 in the morning. Thursday from like 9 till 6.
I will tell you that it was the Wednesday before. I think she was in for about 10 days in total in a hospital. It was actually 10 days in complete total. And
yeah, because we had a week of going back and forth to Lancaster.
Yeah. And my mum just didn't look like the trendy Brenda you knew, let me tell you that now. My mum always said to me, like, she never was able to see her mum at the end of her life because she had a child. I couldn't do it. At this point, this was torture. So Tia had to say goodbye to my mum because she had to come back home and watch the dogs and everything. So Tia had to... That was the last time Tia saw mum.
There was no accurate... I can't give you accurate time. There was no idea of how long this was going to take for Brent to
pass away.
Tia went on the Monday afternoon. She had to get back here, like I said. That day, Steve was meant to come back with Tia, but we had the apartment.
So I said, my dad's got to stay. He didn't bring anything with him. We just literally had to make do. And he stayed, and then the next day, I found up. We stayed there, and then we had to come back home because you got to bear in mind my dad's 70.
We stayed there till Wednesday.
We did, yeah. As in, we stayed at the apartment. We didn't stay at the hospital because my dad was just absolutely... I was exhausted. I needed, and like the hospital said, look, you need to go home and you need to get some rest, you need to get some sleep. I needed to shower. I was just a total shambles, absolute shambles. We went on the Tuesday.
Was there most of the day then?
Yeah, and then we come out early and we took Dad. I'll be brutally honest, we took him, he was in Blackpool, I took him down the front, got him some fresh air, talked to him, and, you know, we that day, on that morning, we spent the afternoon there. She'd gone at that point, like my mum, she was, how can I explain this? I'm just going to be real with you guys. She was there with her eyes like half open, half shut, and her mouth. It was just, she was gone. Deb was just waiting for her heart to stop.
From the Monday when Stephen T seen her, after that there was no changing her from Monday to Wednesday.
No. So Sunday she was talking, which now I know was like that surge, the rally thing, chatting away and everything. Then it was just, there was no communication at that point. There was a little bit with Tia on the Monday. Tia got to speak to Mum, and that was when she was doing like this little dance when she was in bed, but that was it. Tuesday, that was the last time. Monday was the last conversation I ever would have had with my mum alive. And then Tuesday, she was just, that was it. She was comatose, she was gone.
We all said our goodbyes on the Monday, because you don't know if you'll see her again the next day. Went in on the Tuesday. I went in before Amy and her dad, because they was a bit behind me. And I couldn't go in at first, so I sort of looked in. And I thought, oh God, she looked worse than on the Monday.
I can't even tell you what it looked like.
I didn't want them two seeing her, but obviously had no choice.
She looked like she'd already passed away, guys. I'm not going to lie. If any of you guys have seen anyone on like hospice care, or you've had a relative or friend unfortunately pass away, you knew. I knew when she was still in Lancaster, and I'll tell you why I knew. Because her eye was doing that half open and half shut thing, and I knew that's like when your muscles are giving up. I said, I just know. I did 9 years. Yeah. I knew. And
so we had the apartment booked till Thursday, from Sunday to Thursday. We was going to book somewhere else if we had to stay longer. But from the Monday to the Wednesday, there'd been no change at all, and we were told it was just going to get. Basically, they said to us, "You're going to sit there all day long, and what good is it going to do you? Because she has no idea you're there." She had no clue whatsoever that was there.
And my mum's wish, my mum never saw her mum pass away. So my mum was like, don't do that. You're more or less a shell now. And everything. And if any of you guys know me, like, sorry. My mum is my world. She always has been. I'm an only child. She always will be. I talk to my mum like she's in, this is her room now that we're in. I talk to her like she's still in that chair right there, and her bed, everything. I'm not getting rid of a single item of clothing. It's all on the top of there. It's staying with me. I smell her clothes. I've got like this little shrine thing that I've made there with her jewellery. I can't just put things away. I can't do that. But my mum is my world. But she didn't want to see her mum die, and I didn't want to see my mum die. My mum believed in, it's just a shell. Oh, that's not the person. Remember the person when they're alive and everything.
Sorry, go on.
So I made the decision, because obviously I had to be responsible for Tia. I know she's 21, but my mum and Tia, guys, they were, I mean, I was close to my mum, but my mum and Tia was like extremely, it's alright, the kids can play now. They was extremely close. And I mean like extremely, extremely close. Now, Tia was here alone, so she was absolutely mortified. Tia was extremely mortified. So I made the choice, as it was a matter of hours, to come home to Tia. And Tia was like, please, you know, you're not doing any good, and Nan would not want that.
No, every day that went by, me being one end of the bed, I'm being at one side, Steve at the other, just seeing them both, just I don't know, it breaks a bit of you. Like every minute you're there, every hour you're there, you just might move a slightly brain. You think, oh, it's coming.
But then
around.
in the last day on the tube, she didn't move. She was just like, I can't even. Her eyes, her mouth. It was just, and she had that like that death rattle. So I thought, right, I can't watch her. I can't do that. That would not. My mum would not want that. My mum always used to say, "No, don't do that. Do not." You know, I knew my mum's wishes. If my mum's wishes would have been stay right by my side, I would have done that.
So the Wednesday was getting ready to go to the hospital. I come out the bedroom. Me and Steve thought was going to go up to visit. I said, "Look, she won't want this. I think we should go home."
It was a matter of hours.
Yeah, Steve said, "No, that's the right thing." It wasn't my decision to make. Them two both said they want to go. And then you got the call.
Before this, I'd already said goodbye to my mum. I told her she was the best mum that I could ever wish to have. And I said my goodbyes, and it doesn't matter. I'm alright now. Whatever anybody thinks about religion, I'm not religious, but I believe in something. Because of my mum, actually. Previous to all this, my mum saw things, not like the visioning thing. This was a few years ago where she saw something and my mum was like, "No, there's nothing." But she saw something. She says, "I cannot say now that I don't believe in nothing because of what I've seen." I'll do a story time on that one of the days. So my belief is I'm holding on to something. And I said, "Mum," I said, "if you can give me a sign, please." I was like, "Please give me a sign. Like, you know, and just know that I love you." And just loads of things I said, like, you know. And I was, oh, God. My heart is breaking.
If anyone knew that there was love, it was Bryn. She wasn't the easiest person to get on with. Like, a random person might meet Bryn and be like, "Oh, she's not very chatty," or, you know,
Mum had a hard life.
Cup of tea. But
very clever woman.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking your average. She was super intelligent, wasn't she?
Yeah, but I seriously took care of her in every way. Like, she went from living with Steve, them two living together, to going to hospital 5 years back, to say, "I don't want to go back there because if I did not to with Steve, it's just she knew she went back there, she wouldn't come back out of the house. It'd be too easy to go back to her old ways of staying in." We brought her here on holiday to Morecambe for 10 days. We took her to
Torquay,
for a
Brixham,
week.
Wales.
A cruise around the Med.
She went to Portugal, Madeira, Tenerife, Lanzarote, Vigo, Southampton. But all around the Mediterranean.
And she'd never done any of this. And she did it all.
And this was a luxury cruise, guys. I am not kidding you. Thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds.
Yeah, and she said to us...
This was like your top Royal Caribbean, and she had the best food, the best outfits.
They treat her like royalty.
We got her everything, kitted her out of the lot. It was just amazing.
And for about 3 years, we'd been talking on and off about moving here. But Steve originally didn't want to move. He was happy in the house where him and Brenda had lived for a lot of years. And then in the end he said, "Look, I want to move in with you. You know, because I'm a bit lonely and stuff." So yeah, that's fine. You've always had the option too. So he moved in with us in the old house. But Brenda had been saying for a few years, "Look, I want to move to Morecambe." And obviously I had a lot more family up here over the last couple of years. They've all gone apart from my mother. All the others have passed away. My dad, my gran, my granddad, my nan, in a short space of time. So we kept looking and looking. It was not as easy as... I might restart now. I think it'll be right. It's not as easy as just, we'll just find somewhere. Because there's not just loads of places that are suitable. Because Bran couldn't get around. She can't get up and downstairs. So we had to have a downstairs toilet, a downstairs bedroom.
There was a lot of specifications we needed. And I kid you not, it was as though this place was fate. That's all I can say to you. Because I can't exactly say where it is and everything. But it is fate that we got this place. We will do like a little tour, but we'll have to shut the curtains. But it's like a bungalow situation. But it's
as though she
perfect.
knew though that something.
She did.
Yeah, if she's just preparing us.
And it wasn't only that. My mum was she's always been a small lady. She was always a 12 to 14. And then I've gone, when I've been obviously sorting out her stuff, from around Christmas, she was buying sizes 8 to 10. I don't know how she got away with it, whether it was baggy clothes but smaller. She knew there was something wrong. And she said to me at Christmas, she went, "I don't know what it is, just before Christmas I lost my sparkle." But she'd never tell me. And on that day when I was like, "Please, Mum, tell me what's the matter," the day I rang the parents, she nearly told me there was something and she stopped. I said, "Well, I'm going to find out anyway." And she went, "Yeah."
But she, when I say she was as though she was getting us ready, she'd said for a few years, you know, it'd be better for Eamon here, like they'll have a better life. It's something she'd say all the time, if we can move. We just always felt like it was letting down because we'd apply for, because we rent, we'd apply for properties.
But there
wouldn't
wasn't
get very
anything.
far.
There wasn't anything enough for my mum that we could have gone. We could have gone for a flat
Yeah.
or anywhere, but you know.
Finally got her here.
And then within the space of a few months, she got ill. And anyway, we went home back to Morecambe from Blackpool because I needed to get back to Tia. We come back on the Wednesday, and obviously I was phoning the hospital all the time. And they was just like, she's had morphine, she's comfortable.
Oh, you skipped a big bit, Bob.
Which be?
Right before we left, the phone call you got.
What did they say?
On Joan.
Oh God, I've got to cross myself even though I'm not religious. So basically, sorry, let's go back. So on the Tuesday,
You hadn't been very close to your cousin, had you, for a while? But you got close again.
yeah, we started talking. Obviously, I had to tell my cousin that what was going on, and basically, this is the biggest conundrum you'll ever hear. So my mum was 74, my auntie was 77. Her birthday is the 8th of July, my auntie's birthday, and my mum's birthday is coming up. It's the 4th of August. They're about 3 years apart. They had a whole lifetime together. We was an extremely close family. We've had some problems, but they were still extremely close. Now, my auntie was transferred to a hospital into like a care facility for people with dementia. My mum, I was told she's got a matter of hours. My cousin then found me and said she's got a matter of hours. She's on morphine. My auntie died on the Wednesday.
What time? About 9 o'clock, was it?
No, 10 to 11. Or 10:30, sorry. He found me at 10 to 11. My auntie died at 10:30 on the Wednesday morning. I had the phone call on the Thursday morning. My mum died at 9:30 the day after her sister.
Just under 24 hours later.
Exactly the same. My auntie died on the Wednesday, my mum died on the Thursday. And that will haunt me and comfort me at the same time for the rest of my life.
It's like one of them things I not really know what to joke about, but I said to him at the time, it's something you'd read about on the front of a woman's magazine.
Yeah.
You know, like you read the story, like, don't be stupid, that's not real. But this really happened. She lost her auntie, which is bad enough, because I was messing with Amy as it was. For like, she knew she was unwell for like 4 to 6 months, on and off, and she'd had tests done and stuff, Joan had, and she'd been in hospital for like 2 or 3 months, so she was getting her head around all that, and having, you know, getting upset all the time, Amy was, because she was really close to her auntie and her uncle who passed a lot of years ago. And then, obviously, your mum gets ill, Bren, so that then took over everything.
I don't know how I moved, to tell you the truth, guys. I don't know how I'm moving now. But I'm just shattered. I'm a broken person beyond belief. And this has just changed me. I don't know how to live, to be honest, with the situation. It like I say, it gave me comfort that they went together because my mum loved mine. My nan was my mum's world. And her brother Alan, who passed away, unfortunately, of an asthma attack, and he was only 26. But I cannot believe that it was how it was written in the stars. And my cousin said to me on the phone, he went, the day I told my cousin that my mum was ill, he went, they're going to die together. He told his partner and he went, they're going to die together. And lo and behold, they did.
It's almost as though Bren was waiting for Joan to go or something or other. Like, she went just within a day of her.
It's just...
And then it gets even stranger. Bear in mind, so Aim's mum was in Blackpool Hospital. Her aunt was over in Wolverhampton.
Yeah.
Now
bear in mind, my cousin was able to sort out her death registration and certificate far quicker than me, because my mum had to go to the coroner because they wasn't sure what it was that it died of. It was a little bit... Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Who is he? Sorry guys, I just needed to answer a call. Where was we? So basically, he was able to sort out the death registration. He was like a few days ahead of me, basically. So in the normal world, because my mum and my auntie both had direct cremations, they didn't want funerals. My auntie hated funerals. My mum was like, no, why make a situation worse than it is having a funeral? Why make it? That's not everybody's choice, of course, and I respect everybody's opinion. But that is mine too. I don't believe in funerals. And neither did my auntie. So he had arranged all that far quicker. And then...
Well, you had to go to Blackpool. We got a call. We was told originally that they could send the death certificate through to Lancaster Infirmary or Lancaster Town Hall.
But it'd take a lot longer.
Yeah, and we was told originally that would be fine. But then when they rang us up and said, oh, if you want it sorted out quicker for the few cremations, then you'd have to go through to Blackpool. So we had to make a day trip to Blackpool, go to the town hall, register the death there, and then move forward.
So it was quite a lot. It was quite a lot after.
It was like a week after.
My auntie's already got that sorted. Anyway, my cousin texted me on the Monday and said, I'm just letting you know, Mum's being cremated on the Wednesday. And this was at 9 o'clock. And I went, Simon, I've just had the phone call. Mum's being cremated the day after on the Thursday.
Which is the same 2 days. They both passed away.
My auntie died on the Wednesday. My mum died on the Thursday. My auntie was cremated on the Wednesday. And my mum was cremated last Thursday. So last week Wednesday. Last week Thursday.
Yeah. Like I say, you might think it's a case of, well, it makes sense, like 2 weeks after they both died.
But it wasn't the timeline.
She should have been a lot sooner.
Yeah, and even he said, and it was as though everything was meant to align. Call me superstitious, I don't know, but to me, this is a story of something that will be in quite a few of our heads for a long time. The way this has worked out, I've never heard anything like it. And it's obviously happened before, but for me, it's the most shattering thing ever. And my mum comes home to me, a rashes due on the 31st of July.
A few days' time, isn't it?
Yeah, and then it's her birthday on the 4th of August. And she really loved the Sea Life Centre in Portugal. And she really wanted to go to the Blackpool Sea Life Centre. So we're taking us lot there. And buying my dad a little urn and putting the pure cremations of, giving some of her hair. And 3 little pouches to put, because I'm getting mine in tears. You know, ashes to glass ring. And my dad's having like a little urn and he says he just wants to take her everywhere. But this whole situation has just, I don't know how to compute what's happened. I can't take in that I'm never going to talk to my mum ever again. And you guys knew her as Trendy Brendy, and she used to be like, hello. And
I always said from a lot of years ago, I absolutely dreaded the idea of anything happening to Ian's mum. Me and her were always close, me and Bren, like we had a few arguments over the years, but the last 5 years, whatever, I always looked after her and stuff. But I always dreaded the thought of anything happening to her because I knew Ian would just fall to pieces. Like, done. But the way Ian's come through it, I mean, shouldn't believe she's very strong, but I think she is, and I think she's surprised more than a few people, herself included.
I just can't take it in. And I've sat and screamed. But also, I have to keep it together because of my dad, because he can't cope at all. But he's coping. But if I went downhill, I have to do it quietly because I don't want to upset him. But honestly, guys, because I'm going to wrap it up now, I'll do a couple more story times and stuff about this situation. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to end a video like this. I'm sorry for coming back on here with bad news, but I think it was the right thing for you guys to know, because you've been there for us and you've been a big part of our lives. And, you know, my mum really loved doing that. She'd always talk about how's everybody, and you guys sort of knew my mum and asked her about her. But yeah, I'm a broken dolly at the moment, guys, putting on a very, very big brave face.
You ain't on with that. I think talking on here will help you.
Yeah.
You know, little bits and stuff.
But yeah, I'm just going to, before we end the video, I'll show you a quick picture of my mum and my auntie. So you get an idea of what it is and who it is I'm on about. Just pause it a minute once I get the picture and then we'll end it. So that's my mum, as you know her there. And that's her sister, my Auntie Joan, next to her. But this picture there, that was only last June on the cruise. And that was at Tia's prom, my auntie's just there. And yeah, but they went together Wednesday and Thursday. And yeah, so that's where we've been, guys, and what's been going on. And I just wanted to let you all know just how much we appreciate your messages. And there's a few of you who obviously knew what was going on and everything. And I just wanted to say a massive thank you for everything you've done for us in the few years we've been on YouTube. And I'm what we're going to do some more videos. I was going to sack it off and just say no. But Mum would have wanted us to carry on doing some videos. So I'm going to get my head stuck into that. And this was another picture of Mum.
Brent. This was on the cruise also. I think it was in
Tenerife there.
Tenerife. Yeah. Proper tourist with the Hatter.
Yeah, so I'm going to go now, guys, because I can't quite keep it together.
And this video's it's going to be quite a long time to upload it.
But anyway, I love you loads. And thank you so much for sticking with us. And sorry to come on here and bring a bit crappy news. But we love you guys. And yeah, thank you so much.
Take it easy, everyone. Bye.
Bye.